sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to focus on just one football match. Can you believe it?
A deep dive into a single game bold move.
But trust me, it's worth it. This was Liverpool versus Lille in the Champions League just last week, and it was wild.
Yeah, this wasn't just any win. Liverpool secured their spot in the next round.
Yeah.
And we had records broken, some edge-of-your-seat moments.
Exactly. So even if you're not a diehard football fan, I think there's something here for everyone.
We've got the underdog story, tactical stuff to break down, and even what the players themselves said afterwards.
Right. So we're getting those inside perspectives, which is always cool. Okay, let's start with the basics. Liverpool, playing at their home ground, Anfield, beat Lille 2-1.
Sounds close.
Oh, it was close. But before we get to the goals and all that, I got to ask about this red card situation. Well, Isamondi got sent off, right?
Yeah, he picked up 2 yellow cards, which automatically means a red card, and he's out of the game. So most of the second half, Lille's playing with just 10 guys against a full Liverpool squad.
Wow. Talk about an uphill battle. Did that happen before or after Liverpool scored their first goal?
Actually, Liverpool's Mo Salah had already opened the scoring in the 74th minute. So Lille's already trailing A&D, then went down a man.
Brutal. But they still managed to score, didn't they?
Oh yeah, Jonathan David, Lille's striker, got an equalizer in the 62nd minute. I bet for a moment Liverpool fans were sweating.
I bet. Anfield must have been tense. So what did Liverpool's manager, Jurgen Klopp, do to get them back in the lead?
Well, he made a substitution just before David's goal, brought in Harvey Elliott, and it paid off big time.
How so?
6 minutes after coming on, Elliott scores the winning goal for Liverpool.
That's clutch. It seems like subs are really important in football.
Oh, absolutely. They're like a manager's secret weapon, right? You can use them to bring in fresh energy, exploit a weakness in the other team, or, like we saw here, completely change the momentum.
So Klopp really played that substitution perfectly. But let's talk about the goal scorers themselves for a sec. Mo Salah, this was his 50th European goal for Liverpool. That's got to be up there in the record books.
It's huge EE.
Yeah.
He's only the 5th Liverpool player to hit that milestone in European competitions. We're talking legendary company here, Steven Gerrard, Ian Rush.
Wow. So Salah's not just having a good season, he's etching his name in Liverpool history.
And what's impressive is he's not just chasing personal glory. In his post-match interview, he talked about how happy he was about the win, not just the goal. Even praised Elliott, called him a great lad who always gives his best.
That's awesome. You love to see that team spirit. But we can't forget about Lille. They were the underdogs here, down a player, yet they still fought hard. What was Jonathan David's take on the match?
He was really humble, admitted it was tough playing against a top team like Liverpool, especially with 10 men, but no excuses. He praised their resilience.
Yeah.
Even said Liverpool's maybe the best in the world at the moment. High praise coming from your opponent.
Wow. So even in defeat, Lille recognized how good Liverpool is right now. But this wasn't just a one-off good performance, was it?
Not at all. This win was Liverpool's 7th in a row in the Champions League. That's a new club record for them.
7 straight wins. They're on fire. But what does this mean for them in the Champions League specifically? They've already secured their spot in the next round, right?
Yeah, they've got their place in the last 16, which is huge EE. It means they don't have to go all out in their last group stage match. They can rest some key players, avoid injuries, and really start planning for the knockout rounds.
Smart. So even though there's one more group stage game left, they've got a bit of breathing room now.
It's a huge advantage in a tournament as intense as the Champions League. Give them time to strategize, scout opponents, all that. But, the funny thing is, even with this win, their position wasn't totally secure.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned other results affecting things. What happened there?
While Liverpool was taking care of business, Barcelona had this crazy 5-4 win against Benfica. Can you imagine?
9 goals in one game? That's insane. But hold on, why does a Barcelona game matter for Liverpool?
Well, because of how the Champions League groups work. Even though Liverpool won, that Barcelona victory meant they weren't guaranteed the top spot in their group just yet.
So they could still get knocked down to second place? How does that even work?
It's all about points and tiebreakers. Liverpool still needed at least a draw in their final group match to clinch that top spot.
So even on a 7-game winning streak, they couldn't relax completely. Every point matters. But why is being top of the group so important? You mentioned seeding earlier.
Right. When the knockout stage starts, it's not a random draw. The teams that finish top of their groups get paired against teams that came in second in other groups. So in theory, it gives them a slightly easier path to the later stages of the tournament.
So it's like a little reward for dominating your group early on. Makes sense. Okay, before we get into whether Liverpool is the best or not, what are the biggest takeaways from this match, the one we're deep diving into?
I think it really shows what makes Liverpool so good right now. Individual talent, smart tactics, and that never give up attitude.
Right. Like even when Lille tied it up, you just knew Liverpool wasn't going to let that stand.
Exactly. You've got Salah making history, Klopp making the perfect sub with Elliott, and both teams, even Lille down a man, they just fought for every ball. It was exciting stuff.
It really was. And what stuck with ME was Salah's comment after about how it's only January, they have to keep this going all season long, like no celebrating too early.
Yeah, it shows they're hungry for more than just one win. They're thinking about the championship, the long game. Which brings us back to that best in the world comment from Lille's Jonathan David. Do you think Liverpool is at the top right now?
Ooh, tough question. What do you think?
Honestly, it's hard to say definitively in football. You've got to look at their current form, their history as a club, the competition they face. It's part objective, part gut feeling, you know?
So break it down for me. What makes a good case for Liverpool being the best right now?
Well, look at their form. 7 straight Champions League wins, playing with so much confidence and discipline. Then you've got Klopp, a world-class manager, Salah leading a powerful attack, and their defense is really solid.
Yeah, that's impressive. But what are the arguments against them being number one?
Well, the Champions League is brutal. Maintaining that level of play against the toughest opponents in Europe all the way through the knockout rounds, that's a huge challenge.
So you're saying they haven't really been tested yet?
In a way, yeah. We'll see how they handle setbacks, tougher opponents, how they adapt. Plus, there's still their domestic league to deal with, which is no cakewalk. So, yeah, the best in the world debate is far from settled.
It's always ongoing, right? Which makes it fun to argue about. But for our listener, now that they've deep dived into this match, what should they be watching for as Liverpool goes forward?
I think they've got a good understanding now of Liverpool's strengths, their tactics, the whole context of the Champions League. Now it's about seeing how they respond to adversity, how they match up against the other top teams. It's like forming your own opinion, not just taking ours.
I love that. We're giving the tools, not just the answer. Speaking of which, let's circle back to that best in the world comment.
Yeah.
As our listener follows Liverpool, what should they be looking for to answer that question themselves? What are the key things to watch?
It's about those high-pressure moments. How do they play when the stakes are highest? How do they bounce back from a loss or a bad game? And how did their style hold up against other European giants? Do they consistently meet the standards you'd expect from the best?
It's like we're assigning homework, but the fun kind, right?
Exactly. We're giving you the questions to ask yourself as you watch so you can really get into the nitty-gritty of it all.
Love it. It's about enhancing your football experience, going beyond just cheering for your team.
Right. Because sports is more than just wins and losses. It's those narratives, those debates, those moments that make you jump out of your seat.
Totally. Okay, as we wrap this up, and seriously, this deep dive proved that one match can be so much more interesting than just the final score. What's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this?
I hope they realize just how complex football is. We went beyond just saying Liverpool won, great. We look at tactics, the players' thoughts, even the psychological side of things.
Yeah, we got pretty deep in there. And we didn't shy away from the big questions either, like, is Liverpool the best in the world right now? We didn't give a simple yes or no because...
Yes, there isn't a simple answer.
Yeah.
But we gave you the information, the context to make up your own mind.
Exactly. And maybe as you keep watching Liverpool and other teams, you'll even spot things we missed. That's the coolest part of this, right? There's always more to learn.
Always. So to everyone listening, keep that curiosity going. Keep asking questions, keep debating, and of course, keep enjoying the game.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We'll be back soon with another deep dive, taking a close look at some other corner of the sports world. Until then.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.